welcome back to Little Witchy Mischiefs, and wow, I'm actually starting a part after I just beat the previous level.
Ohio!
Anyway, map 5.
So what kind of shenanigans happened to our colorful cast of characters today?
They're being attacked by more of these guys.
So do we get more story in this part, or is it just basically a typical mission?
It is a typical mission. It's like I said earlier, there is a bit more story, but not much.
It's limited.
So is Cutie Honey finally gonna, just transform in this
Well,
one?
no, we can
fight?
play as her now.
I get the idea that it's gonna be a case of she's always transformed.
Well, that's the thing. She wasn't.
Well, no, actually, what you
previously.
do is when you summon her onto the field, you transform her yourself with a move.
Oh,
That's nice.
let me guess. So each of her different forms have special advantages and disadvantages, I guess?
Well, you get more powers with Cutie Honey, for obvious reasons.
Oh, I get that. I'm just wondering if there's any advantage to staying as her regular form. Otherwise, I assume people...
Like
would
maybe
just-
she has more mobility in sacrificing the power.
Not really.
Okay.
Huh, so basically it's just an extra move to get her to transform.
Yeah. Hey, it's
Immersion.
just like in the show.
Fair enough.
Anyway, speaking of which,
There we go. Yep.
Boom, instant
her.
redhead. Although technically her hair's supposed to be pink, but whatever.
Magenta, I guess.
with
Actually, that's a thing. I didn't ask these Dwibs, but at least I think I didn't. But who did the music?
again, there is no credited composer that I know of, but I'm guessing it's Berg Treichsman because he did the music, well, he coded the music for Unholy War, and some of the sound font does sound similar to that game, so possibly. I mean, if I could ever find a way to ask him, I will.
Considering how none of the videos have been, even flagged a bit in terms of copyright, I get the idea none of the musics are remixed tracks from the anime series.
Well,
No,
that
really.
or maybe none of the music was just copywritten for this game.
You'll be surprised, Jova. Again, the votes can be very, very specific.
Oh, I know that. What I mean is well, in that sense, though, maybe the reason we haven't gotten anything is because, well, again, none of the music for this game is copywritten. Let's not forget, this is a very, 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 very old game. Back when the copywriting business was... Well, okay, YouTube wasn't really a thing, so... Well, obviously...
Actually...
Okay, don't get me wrong. Copyright laws were still a thing, but I don't think they went in heavy into overdrive, before the time of YouTube, of course.
Actually, there's out of curiosity before even partaking in, playing this thing. Have you actually checked if there are actual other runs of this game on YouTube, or if it's a case like Lautrec, we're one of the few?
There are a few. I think there are at least one or two that are completed runs, but those were mostly silent. So
What do you mean mostly silent?
That's pretty sad. Actually.
Traditional walkthroughs, Jova, without not necessarily
no commentary.
Oh,
Yeah.
of course. But what about okay? Were they subbed? Well,
What did she say?
No idea.
Oh. Well, there you are. I've just inadvertently activated that now useless power. Hey, at least I know what the power does.
What?
Rejuvenates your health.
Okay, how about this, Liz? I'll just quote one of Dad's lines from Common Chicken. Well, I don't know what you just said, but I'm definitely sure it's an insult. There you go.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's a I'm guessing it's a phrase he uses in the show.
I didn't get a good listen to it, so I wouldn't be able to tell.
Honestly, Tail, that if considering what Liz just told us, that's kind of sad. Considering this game was released only in Japan, and Lautrec, back in its day, was actually marketed pretty. Okay, maybe not super heavily, but reasonable enough marketing in the West. And yet that game, as you know, is hard as fuck to find on YouTube.
It's also a 3DS title, and capture cards for the 3DS are more of a luxury compared to traditional Legato.
True.
Yeah, whereas this is a PS1 game and
Emulators
I'm
are
guessing more
easy to
people
get for the
bought it.
PlayStation.
And I don't
Oh, yeah,
even
by the
know
way,
it-
in
Sorry,
case
go
you're
on.
wondering what the Piranha Devil was trying to do there, like in Unholy War, it can spawn copies
Itself,
of itself,
oh,
although they
great.
don't always work.
Speaking with
But,
Stio,
Hold on, let me just say this first. And there's also the fact that Lautrec, and there's also the fact that Lautrec has not been, as far as I know, has not been tested on Citra, so I don't even know if it's compatible with the emulator. It might be, but it's probably a case where like they didn't even test it.
I was actually
Yes,
gonna
Joe,
ask.
what, sorry?
I was actually gonna ask, what's the current status of the 3DS emulator?
I haven't even checked.
Actually, I can actually answer that. Lautrec emulation is actually really good at this point too. In fact, let me actually double check right now to see if there's been any updates.
Oh,
Like, as far as I know, when it comes to the usual Citra list, Devil Survivor is still the one major out-band because of how fucking horrible the
Actually-
conversion from Ghostlight was for the European version.
Oh yeah, I love the anime-esque design of the Unholy War guy on the top right.
Yeah, I did mention this in the previous part of Dwibs. Again, they did artworks for also the Unholy War and the Pandemonium enemies, and they look so out of place.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you try and adapt a Western drawn design for a different kind of.
yeah. To be fair, it's possible
I mean,
to
Crash.
do it just fine.
It worked. It worked with Crash Bandicoot.
It worked with Powerpuff Girls.
Oh no! Apparently I cannot run 3D Afterburner 2 on Citra.
Oh, that's a shame. But yeah, it's weird how long 3DS emulation is taking. Like, I feel like even Wii U and PS4 emulation are further along than it.
Well, it depends. I guess. Well, Jova, let me put it this way. Someone who's in the know, Nintendo 64 emulation is still far from perfect. So it depends on how easy or hard it is to emulate the platform.
I guess.
No,
but-
Java, Dr. Ultrack is not listed in the official Citra compatibility list, not even in a sense of not tested.
I wonder. Oh, right. Have you gotten around to testing out Citra with those other playthroughs you had planned?
Not yet. Summer vacation homework province.
I'm still waiting for Citra to announce a built-in recorder. Don't get me wrong, it can make sometimes playing the games feel slower, but the actual stuff in real time functions very fluidly. Well, when you see the recording all compiled together, at least from my experience with just Mume.
Alright, I just found someone testing the game log track on Citra 8 months ago. That's fairly recent.
Oh, on
considering the
YouTube?
circumstances. Yes, let me take a look at how this is.
I wonder if we'll see more of Lautrec when that starts to take off.
I seriously doubt that, Jova. The ship has passed.
Oh, and
The ship has-
one thing I should mention in terms of new music tracks for this game. This is the last one.
So after these, all the tracks is something that we already listened. That's what you mean?
Yeah, I'm guessing the music budget ran out at this point.
I don't mind. I mean, at the very least, we don't seem to recycle also music from an Holy War and Pandemonium.
Actually,
Well, they
James,
blast the thing to you. They do remix Unholy War music in the battles.
Fair enough.
What's so funny, Pedro?
No, sorry, I was just checking the comments on this video. One of them says, "It's good to see that Professor Layton is doing well after getting a name change, plastic surgery, and starting a new family." That's the kind of comment Dwibs would make. Like,
Anyway, Dwibs, how long is this playthrough anyway?
11 parts.
Huh. Okay.
well, yeah, these kinds of games on the PS1 weren't usually long. So.
It's not even it's not even that. These type of crossovers in turn can actually be very long.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Considering the stages and everything.
I'll give it this. It's actually somewhat longer than I was expecting based off of how the pace of the story's been going so far. I mean, granted, maybe we haven't gotten all the characters and maybe I just don't know better, but it's weird. Like, well, with the way the story's been paced, it almost felt like the story would have been shorter, so maybe they'll pack in more later.
Alright,
Alright, let's see Cutiani in action.
Let's see how you fight in your power form.
I mean, she does have a sword. That's already an advantage.
Be funny if that was somehow weaker than her human form.
Out of the way, tree, I can't see.
Caca.
Okay,
And
why
yeah,
do
another
everyone have
character
to
that
jump
celebrates
for the
sort of,
victory balls?
Yeah, I'm guessing. I'm guessing the people who were doing the animations for this game weren't clued in on how the characters act. So,
Oh boy, her silver sword has grown stronger.
I mean, at least it's not like the silver sword in Action 52. Oh, here we are, more story. Shira, you voice this one.
Hey, June. How about here? It's so nice to be around nature.
Even when things are trying to
with
kill
evil
you.
monsters.
But Oni-chan, our house is miles away.
Yes!
No, Jova, no.
Yes, Tio, yes.
No, there's no incest here.
What? No, that's not what I meant!
Anyway,
That's right, look over there.
yeah.
So what you were saying, the things they do in anime half the time.
Oh,
Oh,
dear.
have you found something interesting?
I'd say get your minds out of the gutter, but you do have a point. Anime does do that a lot.
It's bad. Those monsters are attacking the entrance.
We should go help those people, maybe.
It looks tough. Let's go, Oni-chan.
That's what we do as children!
Well, in Japanese media, yeah, a lot happens.
You're right. I can't leave these people in danger.
I mean,
Yeah, never mind the fact that I'm like 7.
I mean, I'm only like 7, and they're like full-grown adults, so obviously they can handle themselves.
Yeah, it's like Power Rangers.
Oh, trust me, you don't even want to know what the kids in Hinamizawa get up to in their free time.
That's also the thing, Jova, the way Igarashi is structured, their rise to action is more out of necessity than anything. It's not like we want to actually jump into danger.
Though,
What music is this?
Well, that's already one thing it has over speedrunning free, at least.
Sonic CD US's invincibility theme. And to
Okay.
elaborate, the character we were just with is Chappy from the anime. Well, I know it's got Chappy in the name, but I can't remember the full name. And funny story, in both the animes and this game, Cutie Honey and Chappy are voiced by the same person.
There you go.
How neat.
Maotsukai Chappy, or Chappy the Witch, which is also the title that is given to my country, just in a translated way. Originally released in 1972. In my country, it got actually... hold on. It doesn't really state the date of which it was released in my country, but it seems like we also got all the episodes localized for this one. That's pretty neat. Well, to be fair, it's only a 39-episode series, so there is that.
Yeah. So the pair of them, both Chappy and Honey, are voiced by Aiko Mazuyama. She retired back in. She had a lengthy voice acting career. She started, at least according to Wikipedia, she started in 1957 and only retired in 2012. And she also the original Japanese voice of Fujiko Mine in Lupin the Third.
Fujiko Ime, Dwibs. Jesus.
I haven't seen the show, Tia. Cut me a bit of slack.
But yeah, she does have a lengthy. She actually did have a lengty, role.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Jova, what I'm seeing
The
here...
mirror, motherfucker.
What I'm seeing here, Jova...
Rainbow. Yes, Pedro?
From what I'm seeing here, Job, it seems the game runs really well on the latest builds. So, there's that.
Oh, nice.
And the game is being upscaled into 4K. So,
Wow. Maybe
although
you might
honestly,
want to
for the-
replay for the definitive Lautrec playthrough.
oh sure, why not?
Again, I'm of two minds with Dr.
I
Lautrec.
might
At this point, I'm more looking forward to seeing like how exactly Square will re-release the the first 13, so we can redo that at some point, since that game is more in need of a redo than Lautrec.
Wait. Has it actually been confirmed that they're re-releasing that game?
Well, it's only a matter of time until they release it on the PS5 or something like that.
I wonder, like, I mean, Square... Okay,
these guys really have it out for Honey.
well, I guess they consider
She's
the one that
she's
got
the
away.
closest target to Dwibs. I get the idea is programmed to actually reach her like that.
Dwibs, would you rather they have a thing, a serious thing for the child character?
I mean, sometimes they do.
They pick the wrong one at least.
I mean, in terms of the levels, the younger ones are the more powerful at the minute.
Ironically enough.
Like I said, the Cutie Honey was the closest target. They probably, reason on bomb rushing that.
Yeah.
Oh, great. There's also one of the 14 rhinos.
Again, why did they change it to 14 here?
Because Japan likes...
You have to
You've already
be
been over this. Japan likes that stuff.
It's not even just that Java. Dwibs, to be fair, like I did mention in Unholy War, it did generally look like that even in the original game. So it's more of a confirmation more than anything.
Well, that's the thing, though. In Unholy War, they went out of their way to make it not explicitly be that, but I guess, like I said, because in Japan, farting humor is all a go there, they were all for it. Which, come to think of it, explains Crash Tag Team Racing a lot.
Just the thing about Crash Tag Team Racing, you can actually put in a cheat that lets you use the Japanese version of Crash.
Yes.
Huh.
Although it does have a side effect. If you try and go back to the previous model, his Crash's eyes are missing.
Oh, cursed.
Yeah.
Well, the iris and the pupils are missing.
Yeah.
It's just a blank white void.
Oh my god, she's floating in midair.
How is she doing that? Nope. You could try and spawn all you like, you're not having any luck.
Oh snap, he's getting her from behind!
There's no real advantage or disadvantage in being attacked from the sides or behind.
I love how every time she fires off from her sword, it sounds like she's cawing.
Flip.
Everyone likes to do a flip here.
Yeah. It's also awkward how she actually moves her silver sword. Sometimes it looks like it's clipping through her.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think I said, bear in mind, one of the animators of this game went on to be the lead animator for stuff like the recent God of War.
I mean, you have to understand, Dwibs,
Gotta start somewhere.
Not just that.
I mean, I think he also did a few games before, but he done Holy War as well.
It's not even just that. Again, it's the fact that sure,
Oh boy.
you start from something and then.
I'm sure this will go well for you.
Oh no.
I mean, you can fly.
True.
Yeah, she's doing literally scratch damage.
That said, though, she should be able to evade it if Dwibs uses the flying mechanics just right.
It's auto Jova.
Oh. Yeah, she's dead.
She dead.
Nope.
Killed by a farting rhinoceros.
Oh my god, when you get KO'd, you get the sound effect, the Who Wants to Be a Billionaire sound effect.
No, it's not Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Although, funny story, a few of the sound effects here would later be used in Deadly Premonition.
Yeah, I was about to mention. Yeah, it's also the same one for the side quest. Sorry, for the quest accepted in Deadly Premonition.
Well, that's the thing. They most of
These are stock sound effects,
those are all sound effects that are public domain. So
still curious, nonetheless.
I'm still waiting for whenever another game starts to reuse the dun 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 jingle.
Going for revenge, are we?
I mean, also taking advantage of an injured enemy driver.
You will pay for defeating the person who shares my voice.
Jesus, still really strong.
And a spammer, too.
but ultimately we won.
It does remind me a bit of a fighting game on the PS1 because I think it was called like Cardinal Sin. I think that was the title. That was essentially a fantasy 3D fighting game, kind of like Soul Calibur or Tekken. But that included a bunch of, again, different type of fantasy archetypes in terms of characters. And one of them was like this giant that could spam actually fart moves. Let me see if I can find something.
Can I get Lun over there? No. Well, I mean, it is water, to be fair, so, yeah. No, I think that's it for the bigger characters. Basically, there are some I'm just basically using for mana farming.
Mm-hmm.
Although I do level them up in case I have to use them for a fight.
Oh, there you go. Okay, it was actually released. It was actually done by the same team who did the first two Fear effects for Eidos, Chronos Digital Entertainment.
Another thing I'm wondering, actually, what the hell happened to the Piranha's ability to chomp on you?
I guess you weren't giving him a chance?
No, I fought the Piranha many times.
They actually toned it down?
In a lot of closely fought battles, and you never used it once. I'm guessing it was taken out.
Probably.
Wait, are there like different difficulties in this game?
I guess of all things, they did not want that to be applied to child characters.
Dwibs, are there different difficulties in this game?
Sorry, could you repeat that, please?
Are there different difficulties in this game?
No. I mean, it does get harder, it's just, well, not that, well, maybe it doesn't come through when you're watching it instead of playing it. Okay, that's another thing I had to get used to while playing this game. The fact that in this game, even though it's made by Americans, in Japanese games, it's the circle button you press to select something, not the X button.
Mm-hmm.
Although another thing on the box of the game, on the back of it, it says "Made in Japan," which no, it wasn't.
Maybe the actual manufacturing happened in Japan, and what's the name? And the dev team just sent the software to Bandai.
Bob, yeah.
The whole "Made in Japan" thing. Yeah, the "Made in Japan" thing refers to the actual physical CD that you're holding, not the code itself.
Probably. I mean, apparently Toys for Bob do have a copy of this game, like all the other ones they made.
Just for remembrance.
And Bandai did send them some of the merchandise.
This is the game they use as a coaster.
It's not a bad game or anything. And from what I've heard, it's not even Toys for Bob's worst game.
Oh.
I heard some of our DreamWorks games are actually the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, 102 Dalmatians is a good game as well, from what I've played, heard, and seen.
Which actually reminds me of something, because I actually didn't knew until Adam from YMS actually did mention it in his review of Krella. Apparently, we did release an actual tie-in video game to the live-action 101 Dalmatians video game that is actually based on the in-universe video game that Rudy is making. But apparently it's not really that good. Roger. Sorry, Rudy is in the name the Italian they gave him, my bad. But yeah, apparently it's like a PC exclusive and it's also bad.
And another backflip.
Yeah, the characters only ever really have one victory animation in the battle anyway. They have a different one for when they level up.
Oh jeez, another tank. Yeah, that's another thing that I noticed, especially compare also to Unholy War. The enemies here love to spam away units from the source point.
I guess they're going for the battle of attrition format.
Well, I mean, in the context of this universe, these aren't these characters weren't built or made by machines or aliens. These are just creatures being used by the bad witch.
By a witch, yeah.
That reminds me, the monsters that return from Unholy War, are those only from, like, the nature side of things as opposed to...
Oh, no. No, there's some from
No,
both
we have
sides.
seen Java, they are actually like the, what's it called, like the Macons,
You're on a
actually.
pogo stick, mate.
There was that enemy that channels electricity, the old guy with the baton, for example.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful to see the Flame Witch return as well. The one that gave Dwibs a lot of problems.
Oh, we will.
Oh, neat.
Although this time,
So,
I've mastered the flying controls just enough to be able to fight them properly.
so essentially, we can just assume that this is from a quote-unquote good future where the nature and mechanical guys decided to band together and just, attack Earth instead.
Well, that's because,
And try
again,
and destroy a bunch of little girls.
because
Yes.
apparently, again, they're operating on just being because there's someone by this witch, they're like a
That's an interesting
mindless
thing,
force.
Joe, I saw this YouTube comment on one of the playthroughs of this, where basically they said it's nice to see that the the guys from the Holy War, decided to band together and try and take down a bunch of magical girls. Maybe they see magic as sacrilegious or something.
Yeah, never mind the fact that some of their characters actually do possess magical powers.
Blasphemous, I think that's what they said, actually.
Yeah.
So the hypocrites then.
Wait. Okay, to be fair, from what I recall, all the nature-bound ones, while normally we would consider them magical, apparently all their abilities were natural to themselves, so they probably didn't see it as magic.
So it's a matter of how we called it. Got it.
It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that thing where.
Well, think about it like this. Think about it like this, too. It's like how Superman technically has super abilities
Yeah,
by
I was
like
about to say that, too.
by like the standards of a normal Earthling, but technically those are all natural abilities of his.
For as much
Can I
as
get a fire up?
for as much as Justice League Out of God ignored that, but whatever.
Or like the lantern of the
Can I get
cores
a
are
new minigame at
technological.
least?
Oh boy.
Nope, still
It's
the...
still the destroy the pump, but it's
Did they just
polluting.
build another one? It's like, I can imagine London's reaction.
Really? I just destroyed one of these things.
Actually, that's something. You started off this playthrough as one, right?
No, Echo.
Oh, Akko. Well, regardless, though, I noticed that at some point it doesn't seem to matter. Well, okay, I'm guessing it doesn't matter who you start off the campaign is at some point, because I noticed that a lot of other character interactions happen,
There are
independent of the
different
character you
character
chose.
interactions.
I get the idea that it's only a matter. Eventually, you still get all the characters just in like in a different order potentially.
I suppose
Oh,
so.
that's three enemies Lundman has to fight. Those two crab creatures and the slowdown.
That's just beautiful. Also, all this noise. There we go. At least this one did not do a spin.
Actually, she did do a spin.
Well, okay, like a backflip. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay then.
At least we don't seem to be spamming any more units, so it's just a matter of actually sealing the fucking thing.
It's free real estate.
There we go. So who's the... Oh! It's you.
Ice gal.
It's more like wind unit, but yeah, it's still... Practically it's just a palette swap of the fire witch from Holy War.
The one that gave Dwibs a lot of trouble.
Because of his stupid flying controls. Or more like how the AI performs them. And I see they still also possess like kamikaze attack just without the downsides. Great.
Well, I mean, the kamikaze was the submarines in the in Unholy.
Well, the animation seems to be the same. It's the circling there and then plummeting with an explosion on the ground.
Well, no. The submarines have their own, where it actually does kill them, but they can do the enemy a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of damage.
3, 2,
Come
1.
on.
Yep, did it.
Got him.
There we are.
Just in time.
Kitty Honey has achieved her first major victory. Another flip.
Jesus.
She destroyed it with a backflip.
Map 5 clear. Yes, I want to say thank you very much.
So
Are you
actually,
sure?
actually, I'm curious, Dwibs, as far
Yeah,
as you
that's
know,
a great
mind you, does this game have a save in the chapter function that acts as my minor save state, but you're basically forced to load the next time?
You can save it. You can save at any point.
Ah,
Anyway,
okay, that's
Anyway,
generous.
join us for the next part, everybody.
Chikai, Majokko Daisakusen, Little Witchy Mischief, Part 5. See ya.
Sayonara, Nanu
See ya.
desu.